Let us continue with anemia and pregnancy part 2. So in this part 2 mainly we are going to discuss with parenteral iron therapy. So what is this parenteral iron therapy? Actually, if your patient is not able to take the oral iron pills, then we need to go to this alternative, that is parenteral iron therapy. Here we take especially the patients who are non-compliant, like they are not willing to take the tablets, and even to the patients who are like not tolerant non-tolerant, like they're not able to tolerate the gastritis which is caused by this iron tablets, because already they're having a lot of gastric problems. So in that case of patients, and also the patients who are having like severe anemia, like even in the after you give the tablets to them, still in the early trimester of third trimester, still they're having severe anemia, which is in third trimester means less or equal to 34 weeks. Like they have come to 34 weeks but still their iron is low. So in these cases we give parenteral iron therapy. So rate of hemoglobin in parenteral therapy will be same like oral therapy, but here the patient is not able to take orally, so we are giving it in parenteral way, right? So the most common form of parenteral iron is iron sucrose. We give it iron sucrose, but the best form is iron carboxymaltose. Actually iron carboxymaltose is best, but it's costly, so we prefer to use iron sucrose mostly. So what we do is, actually in 1 ml of iron sucrose there is 20 milligrams of iron. Okay, so in 1 ml there is 20 milligrams of iron. So you can give like about 5 ml of this iron sucrose. 5 ml of iron sucrose means like about 100 milligrams, right? 100 milligrams of ferrum can be given. So we need to dissolve this. We should not give directly. We need to dissolve this in 100 ml of normal saline. So in 100 ml of normal saline, dissolve this 100 milligrams of ferrum, or you can say 5 milliliter of this iron sucrose, and give it. But also see that initially you should give only 20 to 30 drops per minute. Initially only 20 to 30 drops per minute, because we need to check the patient for hypersensitivity. Of course hypersensitivity is not so common with iron, but it's better to check it in initial stage. Later you can increase the drops. Okay, so you can give a maximum of 200 milligrams of iron sucrose. Okay, 200 milligrams of iron sucrose in 100 ml of normal saline. So as we discussed before, in 5 ml there is 200 milligrams of ferrum, right? So now here we are saying that use 200 milligrams of iron sucrose in 100 ml of normal saline, and give it on alternate days. Like you can give it for 3 times per week. So for 1 week give it 3 times. So how to calculate this dose of parenteral iron calculation? So for that, for example, let us take 2.4, the weight of patient is 50, for example, into hemoglobin deficit. How to count hemoglobin deficit? Normal hemoglobin value is 11 minus, for example, in this patient the hemoglobin is like about take it as 9. Okay, so 9 means 10, 11, so 2. Okay, plus 500 milligrams of iron stores. So if you calculate this whole, you will get the value. Okay, so this is the dose of parenteral iron calculations. So now let us see what is the indication for blood transfusion. So we can also do indication blood transfusion if there is no treatment by parenteral iron therapy. The other alternative is blood transfer. So here, especially when the hemoglobin value is less than 5 milligrams in any trimester, okay, not for second, in any trimester, if the value is less than 5, so it's a severe anemia. So in this severe anemia cases we use this blood transfusion. So even if you see severe anemia in a late third trimester, like greater than or equal to 34 weeks, so at this case also we give blood transfusion. And if we see any anemia which is causing heart failure, so in heart failure anemias and in refractory anemias we give this blood transfusion. And especially acute hemorrhage, because there's hemorrhage, lot of blood loss. So in acute hemorrhage which is causing because the hemoglobin is less than 6 now because of hemorrhage, so for this also we need to give this. And also here it is affecting the vitals of patient also. So note one thing, that one packed cell transfusion increases hemoglobin by 1 gram. Okay, so from one packed cell transfusion you'll get 1 gram of hemoglobin in this blood transfusion. Okay, so now let us see some of the important one-liners, like what is the most common cause of megaloblastic anemia in pregnancy? Megaloblastic anemia in pregnancy is folic acid deficiency. So whenever there is folic acid, that is B9 deficiency, it will lead to megaloblastic anemia. Okay, and what is the dose of folic acid in megaloblastic anemia? We need to give 1 milligram per 1 day. So to treat this, you'll give 1 milligram of folic acid per 1 day as a treatment. So what is the most common anemia after bariatric surgery? So after bariatric surgery, the most common anemia is vitamin B12 deficiency anemia. Okay, and what is the most indirect cause of maternal mortality? Indirect maternal mortality is due to anemia. Direct maternal mortality is due to hemorrhage. Okay, and what is a dimorphic anemia? Dimorphic anemia means there is both iron and folic acid deficiency in this kinds of anemia. So that is a dimorphic anemia. So once again, let us revise these important points. One packed cell transfusion increases hemoglobin by 1 gram. The most common cause of megaloblastic anemia in pregnancy is folic acid deficiency. Dose of folic acid in megaloblastic anemia you give is 1 milligram per 1 day. The most common anemia after bariatric surgery is vitamin B12 deficiency anemia. Most common indirect cause of maternal mortality, anemia. Most common direct cause of maternal mortality, hemorrhage. Dimorphic anemia, where there is both iron and folic acid deficiency anemia.